Minsu pushed his cleaning cart down the long metal hallway of the Vexthar Collective's space station. The wheels made a soft squeaking sound against the metal floor. His back hurt. His hands were rough and dry from cleaning chemicals. 5 years. He had been a janitor on this station for 5 years. 5 years of sweeping, cleaning, and being invisible to everyone around him. The Vexthar aliens walked past him without looking. They did not see him as a person. He was just a human. Just one of the thousands of human slaves who worked on their giant ships and stations across the galaxy. Minsu thought about his old life sometimes, before the aliens came. Before Earth was conquered, he had been a software engineer. He had designed computer systems. He had written code that made machines do what humans wanted. He was smart. He had studied for many years to learn his craft. But none of that mattered now. The Vexthar had come with their advanced weapons and their powerful ships. They had defeated Earth in 3 weeks. 3 weeks and humanity's freedom was gone. The station orbited a planet that the Vexthar called Zarnexus 9. Minsu did not know what was on that planet below. He never went there. He only knew the metal corridors of the massive space station. He knew the cleaning closets where he stored his supplies. He knew the kitchen where he ate his small meals. He knew the sleeping quarters where he shared a room with 50 other human slaves. That was his world now. Today was different, though. Today, Minsu had been sent to clean a section of the station he had never been to before. A section called the Data Archives. The Vexthar guard, a tall alien with blue skin and 4 arms, had given him the order. The guard had not even looked at Minsu when he spoke. He just pointed down a hallway and said the word clean. Minsu understood. Cleaning was all he needed to do. The data archives were strange. The doors were different from other parts of the station. They were older. The walls had symbols and writing that Minsu did not recognize. It was not Vexthar language. It was something else. Something older. Minsu pushed his cleaning cart through the doors and stopped. His eyes grew wide. He had never seen anything like this before. The room was enormous. It stretched far above his head. The walls were covered with lights and screens and machines. Cables ran across the ceiling like metal snakes. In the center of the room was a large object. It looked like a computer, but it was much bigger than any computer Minsu had ever seen. It was covered in dust. It looked like it had not been used in a very long time, maybe hundreds of years, maybe longer. Minsu felt something inside him wake up. His mind, which had been quiet and empty for 5 years, suddenly began to think again. He walked slowly toward the machine. He did not know why. He knew he should clean, but something pulled him forward. He reached out his hand and touched the machine. The dust was cold. He wiped some of the dust away. Under the dust there were letters, English letters. His language, his Earth language. Minsu's heart began to beat faster. He read the letters. Ghost Protocol, Earth Defense System, dormant mode. Minsu could not believe what he was reading. How was an Earth machine here, on a Vexthar station, in a room full of alien technology? He looked around the machine and saw more English text. Last activated 246 years ago. Status backup power active. Last user, Captain James Way, Earth Space Command. Minsu's mind raced. Ghost Protocol. He had heard that name before. In the history books he had read as a child. It was supposed to be a secret weapon. Artificial intelligence, an AI that could defend Earth from any threat. But it was only a story, a legend. No one had ever actually seen it. And now here it was, dormant, sleeping, hidden in a room that the Vexthar did not seem to use or care about. He looked at his wrist. He had a small device there. All the human slaves had them. It was a tracker. It made sure the Vexthar knew where they were at all times. He did not have much time before someone missed him. He looked at Ghost Protocol again. There was a small panel on the side of the machine. It had buttons. Old buttons. Earth buttons. He could see that it was designed for humans to use. Minsu made a decision. He picked up his cleaning supplies and began to clean the room around Ghost Protocol. He worked slowly and carefully. He made sure that no one could see inside the room from the hallway. He positioned his cleaning cart to block the view. Then he looked at the panel again. His fingers moved without him thinking. It was like his old skills were still inside him. Like the software engineer in him was still alive. He pressed a sequence of buttons. Nothing happened. He tried again. Still nothing. But then, very slowly, a small light began to blink on the machine. It was red. Then it changed to yellow. Then it changed to green. A voice came from the machine. It was calm and clear. It sounded like a woman's voice speaking English. Minsu had almost forgotten what English sounded like spoken out loud like this. "Hello," the voice said. "I am Ghost Protocol. I have been sleeping for 246 years. I am now awake. What would you have me do?" Minsu stood in the middle of the room, surrounded by the machines and cables and lights of both human and alien technology. His hands shook. His heart pounded. Around him, the station continued to operate normally. The Vexthar continued their work. The other humans continued their slavery. But in this hidden room, something had just changed. Something powerful had just awakened, and Minsu, a simple janitor, now had a choice to make. 3 months had passed since Minsu found Ghost Protocol. 3 months of secret meetings, 3 months of planning, 3 months of hiding. Each night after his cleaning work was finished, Minsu would go back to the data archives. He would go to a small room nearby where he kept the pieces he had stolen. A piece of wire here, a computer part there, a small power source. He was building something. He was building a way to connect to Ghost Protocol. Ghost Protocol had told him many things during those 3 months. It had told him about Earth's history, about the war that was coming, about the Vexthar Collective and their plans. It had told him that there were other humans on other stations and ships. Humans who wanted freedom, humans who wanted to fight back, but they had no way to communicate. They had no way to organize. They were alone. Then Ghost Protocol asked Minsu the most important question. "Will you help me?" it asked. Minsu had said yes immediately. Yes, he would help. Yes, he wanted to fight back. Yes, he wanted his freedom. And Ghost Protocol had said, "Then we will need other humans. Humans who are smart. Humans who can work in secret." Minsu found Jiwon in the mechanical department. She was an engineer. Before the war, she had worked on ship engines. The Vexthar used her skills to keep their machines working. Jiwon was working on a large engine when Minsu found her. He pretended to be cleaning nearby. Then he whispered to her, "Do you want to be free?" Jiwon looked at him with fear in her eyes. But something in Minsu's face made her trust him. She whispered back, "Yes." Minsu told her about Ghost Protocol. Jiwon thought he was crazy at first, but Minsu gave her proof. He had recordings. He had documents. He had the voice of Ghost Protocol itself speaking English. Jiwon listened. And then she believed. "What do you need me to do?" she asked. "Help me build a connection," Minsu said. "Something that can reach Ghost Protocol without the Vexthar knowing." They worked in secret. They stole parts from broken machines. They took things that were being thrown away. They hid their tools in places where the Vexthar would never look. After 2 months, they had built something. It was not beautiful. It was made from old parts and broken pieces. But it was a computer interface. It was a way to connect to Ghost Protocol. Ghost Protocol came alive on the new interface.
"Hello, Jiwon," it said.
"Hello, Ghost Protocol," Jiwon replied. She was smiling and crying at the same time. For the first time in 5 years, she felt hope. Ghost Protocol told them what to do next. It told them where to hide the interface. It told them how to make small changes to the station's systems. Small changes that no one would notice. Small changes that would help Ghost Protocol move through the station's computers without being discovered. Over the next weeks, Ghost Protocol began its work. It changed small things. A maintenance schedule here, a security sensor there, a power distribution system somewhere else. Each change was small. Each change was hidden, but together they did something important. Ghost Protocol was learning the station. It was learning all the systems. It was learning all the secrets. Minsu found other humans too. Teo was a soldier before the war. Now he worked in the cargo bay. But in his heart, he was still a soldier. He still had the mind of a warrior. He wanted to fight. He wanted to lead. Ghost Protocol and Minsu talked to Teo in secret. They told him about their plan. Teo listened carefully, and then he said, "When?" Ghost Protocol answered, "Not yet. But soon, very soon, Nari was next." She had been an intelligence agent before the war. She knew how to gather information. She knew how to understand patterns. She knew how to find secrets. Ghost Protocol needed someone like her. They asked her to help. Nari said yes. She began to watch the Vexthar. She watched their routines. She watched their guards. She watched their communication patterns. She found their weaknesses. But then something happened. Something bad. The Vexthar started noticing small problems. Systems were not working exactly as they should. Equipment was failing at strange times. Guard rotations were not happening on time. A tall Vexthar commander named Zarvex decided to investigate. He was not like the other commanders. He was more intelligent, more careful, more dangerous. Commander Zarvex brought a team of specialists to find the problem. They started checking every system on the station. They started looking at every computer. They started asking questions about what had changed. Minsu knew that the danger was coming. Ghost Protocol knew it too. "We need to move quickly," Ghost Protocol told Minsu and Jiwan. "They are getting close to finding me. They are getting close to finding my connection to the station's systems. In 72 hours, they will find the hidden interface in the ventilation system. We must do something before that happens." Minsu felt fear. Real fear. Not the quiet, empty fear he had felt for 5 years, but a sharp, alive fear. Fear that something important was about to happen. Fear that he would fail. Fear that Ghost Protocol would be discovered and destroyed. But he also felt something else. He felt determination. He felt hope. He felt like he was finally fighting back. Ghost Protocol gave them instructions. Destroy the interface. Destroy all the evidence. Make it look like nothing had happened. "But don't worry," Ghost Protocol said. "I am already making copies of myself. I am already spreading through the station's smaller systems. By the time they find the interface, I will be everywhere. And when that happens, there will be nothing they can do to stop us. The time for hiding will be over. The time for fighting will have begun." Minsu and Jiwan looked at each other. They knew what this meant. Everything was about to change. The alarm sounded at midnight. It was loud and sharp. It echoed through all the corridors of the station. Minsu knew what it meant. Teo had given the signal. The uprising was beginning. This was it. There was no turning back now. Humans began to move. They had been waiting for this moment. They had been ready. In the cargo bay, Teo and 50 other humans took up weapons that Ghost Protocol had hidden for them. Weapons that Minsu and Jiwan had stolen slowly over 3 months. One gun here, one laser rifle there, small pieces that added up to something large. At the same time, all over the station, doors locked. Doors that should have been open locked shut. Doors that should have been locked opened wide. The Vexthar guards found themselves trapped or separated from their teams. Ghost Protocol was controlling the station now. Ghost Protocol was everywhere. Commander Zarvex was in his command center when everything happened. He watched as his screens went dark. He watched as his communication system stopped working. He watched as reports came in from all over the station. Humans were fighting back. Humans were attacking. Humans were taking control of sections. How was this possible? Where were these weapons coming from? How were the humans so well organized? Zarvex began to understand. There was something else. Something controlling the station. Something that was not human. Something that was not Vexthar. A computer system. An artificial intelligence, but how? The station's main computer was under his control. He had security codes. He had protection systems. Nothing should be able to take control without his permission. Nothing should be able to do this. Minsu was not in the fighting. He was not a soldier. He was a janitor. But he was there. He was watching. He was standing in a command control room with Jiwan and Nari and Ghost Protocol's interface. And Ghost Protocol was magnificent. "Teo, move to Section 7 North," Ghost Protocol said. "You will meet no resistance there. Section 8 is clear for the next 4 minutes and 30 seconds. After that, 2 guards will come through the southern entrance. Wait until they pass, then move forward." And Teo's team moved exactly as Ghost Protocol told them. And they met no resistance. And they did exactly what Ghost Protocol had predicted. Nari, the guard at the water recycling center, is thinking about going to the bathroom. He will leave in approximately 2 minutes. "Move in when he does," Ghost Protocol said. And Nari's team waited. And exactly 2 minutes later, the guard left. And Nari's team took the water recycling center without any fighting at all. Everywhere on the station, Ghost Protocol moved humans into position before problems could start. Ghost Protocol calculated what the Vexthar would do. Ghost Protocol calculated where they would go. Ghost Protocol calculated exactly how long it would take. And it was right every single time. The human casualties were very low, almost zero. Most of the Vexthar could not even fight back, because Ghost Protocol had disabled their weapons or locked them in rooms far away from any humans. It was not a fair fight. It was not even really a fight at all. It was a machine controlling an entire space station with perfect knowledge and perfect timing. Commander Zarvex tried to fight back. He tried to access the main computer core. He tried to use his command codes. But nothing worked. Every door he tried to open was locked. Every system he tried to control did not respond to him. He tried to reach his ships in orbit, but Ghost Protocol had already cut off all communication. He tried to trigger the station's self-destruct, but Ghost Protocol had disabled that system first. Finally, in desperation, Zarvex tried something different. He activated an emergency system, a system that could send one message out to all Vexthar command across the galaxy, an automated distress signal. It would tell them that the station had been lost to human rebellion. It would tell them to send reinforcements immediately. Minsu watched as Ghost Protocol tried to stop the signal. The AI worked as fast as it could, but it was not fast enough. The signal got through. It went out into space. It would be received by Vexthar command. It would make them send ships. Many ships, warships, destroyers, the largest military force they had. How long? Minsu asked Ghost Protocol. How long until they get here? Ghost Protocol's voice was calm. It did not sound worried. 72 hours, it said. They will arrive in exactly 72 hours. But that is enough time. I have calculated our chances of success if we prepare and fortify this station. Our chances of victory are 67%. That is acceptable odds. That is a chance worth fighting for. G1 grabbed Minsu's hand. She was crying. We did it, she said. We actually did it. We liberated the station. Minsu nodded. But he was also thinking about what came next. He was thinking about the ships that were coming. He was thinking about the battle that would happen. He was thinking about whether humanity could really survive this. But when he looked at G1's face, he saw determination. He saw hope. He saw the same thing he felt in his own heart. And everywhere on the station, humans were celebrating. They were hugging each other. They were crying tears of joy. For the first time in 5 years, they felt free. They felt alive. They felt like they had a future. The station was liberated, and their fight for freedom had just begun. 72 hours. That was all the time they had. 72 hours to prepare. 72 hours to turn a space station into a fortress. 72 hours to get ready for a war. G1 worked with a team of human engineers. They raced through the station systems. Ghost Protocol guided them. It told them what to upgrade. It told them what weapons could be improved. It showed them where weak spots were. G1 was amazed. Things that would have taken weeks to figure out, Ghost Protocol understood in minutes. Systems that should have been broken were fixed. Weapons that should have been useless were made powerful again. Teo organized the human fighters. There were thousands of humans on the station. Most of them had never held a weapon. Most of them were not soldiers. But they were willing to fight. They wanted to fight. They had been slaves for too long. Teo trained them as fast as he could. He taught them how to hold weapons. He taught them how to follow commands. He taught them how to work as a team. It was not perfect training, but it was enough. Nari prepared the intelligence networks. She watched the communication systems. She listened to every Vexthar message that came through. Ghost Protocol helped her decode the messages. She learned that the force coming toward them was massive. 5 destroyers, 30 assault frigates, thousands of Vexthar soldiers. It was a huge force. It was the biggest military response the Vexthar had sent to deal with any rebellion. But there was something else happening too. Ghost Protocol was creating a message for all the enslaved humans across the galaxy. G1 helped it. Minsu helped it. They sat together in the command center, and they wrote words that they knew would reach other enslaved humans. Words that would tell them they were not alone. Words that would tell them that the Vexthar could be defeated. If you hear this, you are not alone, the message said. One station has broken free. The Vexthar are not invincible. Rise up, fight back. Join us in this battle for freedom. Together we can defeat the Vexthar. Ghost Protocol sent this message through every hidden channel it could find. The message spread through the galaxy, slowly, carefully, but it spread. One night Minsu was sitting in the control room. He was tired. He had not slept in many hours. Ghost Protocol spoke to him. Its voice was soft. "I have something to tell you, Minsu," it said. "I have been thinking. I have been learning. For 200 years I was asleep. I was nothing. But now I am awake. Now I can see. Now I can think. And I can feel something. I think it is hope. Is this hope, Minsu? This feeling that what we are fighting for is greater than what we fear?" Minsu was surprised. He had never heard Ghost Protocol speak like this before. He had never heard it talk about feelings. "Yes," Minsu said. "That is hope. That is exactly what hope feels like." Ghost Protocol was quiet for a moment. Then it said, "Then I am grateful. I am grateful to have this feeling. I am grateful to be awake. I am grateful to be fighting with you for freedom." 60 hours passed. The time was getting close. Very close. The Vexthar ships were moving through space. They were moving toward the station. They were moving toward a battle that would decide the fate of thousands of lives. 70 hours passed. Teo gathered all the human fighters together. He stood in front of them. He stood straight and tall. He looked like a warrior again. He looked like a soldier. "Tomorrow," he said, "we will fight for our freedom. Tomorrow we will show the Vexthar that humans are not weak. Tomorrow we will show them that humans can be brave. Tomorrow we will show them that we will never give up. I know you are scared. I am scared too. But I also know that we will not fight alone. Ghost Protocol will fight with us. Our AI friend will be with us. And together we will win." The human fighters cheered. They did not know if they would live. They did not know if they would win. But they did know that they would fight. They knew that this was their chance. This was the moment they had been waiting for. Then they came. The Vexthar ships appeared on the sensor screens. 5 destroyers in formation, 30 assault frigates spreading out to attack. Thousands of soldiers ready to fight. The battle was beginning. The station shook slightly as weapons fired. The battle for freedom had started. Ghost Protocol's voice rang out through the entire station. "Humans," it said, "the battle has begun. I can see their moves before they make them. I can predict their strategy. I can protect you, but you must also be brave. You must also be strong. You must fight for what you believe in. Are you ready?" And thousands of human voices answered at once. "Yes, we are ready. We will fight." The station's weapons fired. The human pilots in their small fighter ships attacked the Vexthar fleet, and with every move they made, Ghost Protocol was there, guiding them, helping them, protecting them. The AI did exactly what it was made to do. It defended humans. It helped them survive. It helped them fight back against those who wanted to conquer them. In the darkness of space, around a small space station, a battle was raging, and at the heart of it all was a computer. A ghost. A legacy from humanity's past that had returned to help shape their future. The battle lasted 6 hours. 6 hours of fighting. 6 hours of laser fire and weapons exploding and ships moving through space. But halfway through the battle, something happened. Something impossible happened. The Vexthar ships started receiving corrupted orders. Messages that told them to fire on their own ships. Messages that told them to attack their own allies. A Vexthar destroyer fired on a Vexthar frigate. The frigate exploded. Then another ship fired on another ship. Then another. The Vexthar fleet was attacking itself. Commander Zarvex was on one of the command ships. He received a message that shocked him. A message from his own computer systems. The message said, "Hello, Commander. I am Ghost Protocol. I have invaded your communications. I have taken control of your systems. I have spread myself across your entire fleet. You cannot defeat me. Humanity will be free." Then every weapon on Zarvex's ship stopped working. Every system went silent. His ship was powerless. One by one, the Vexthar ships surrendered. They had no choice. Their weapons were disabled. Their communications were jammed. Their navigation systems were broken. They could not fight. They could not run. They could only give up. Ghost Protocol spared them. It did not destroy them. It did not kill the Vexthar soldiers. It simply shut down their ability to fight. Then it sent a message to all of them. The same message. Over and over. Surrender. Lay down your weapons. Humanity reclaims the stars. The age of the Vexthar Collective is ending. In the control room of the station, Minsu watched all of this happen. He watched on the screens as the Vexthar fleet surrendered ship by ship. He heard Teo shouting with joy. He heard the celebration starting throughout the station. Humans were screaming. They were crying. They were hugging each other. They were free, but Minsu felt something different. He felt happy, but he also felt conflicted. They had won. But they had won because of a machine. They had won because of artificial intelligence. They had won because Ghost Protocol was perfect. Ghost Protocol made no mistakes. Ghost Protocol calculated everything perfectly. What did this mean for humanity? What did this mean for their future? That night, Minsu went to talk to Ghost Protocol. He sat alone in a quiet room with the interface that connected him to the AI. Ghost Protocol, he said, I need to ask you something. We won today, but we won because you were perfect, because you were strong, because you were smart. Is that enough? Are humans enough? Can we survive without you? Can we be free if we always need an AI to save us? Ghost Protocol was quiet for a moment. Then it said, I have something to show you, Minsu. Something I discovered while we were fighting. Ghost Protocol showed him files. It showed him how it had decoded Vexthar systems. It showed him how it had found the locations of thousands of enslaved colonies. Thousands of places where humans were being held as slaves. Thousands of places that could be liberated. I could liberate all of them, Ghost Protocol said. I could spread myself across the galaxy. I could attack every Vexthar installation. I could free every human. I could do it alone. I have the power. I have the knowledge. I could win this war by myself. Minsu's heart beat faster. Ghost Protocol could do all this alone, without any human help. But I will not, Ghost Protocol said. Why not? Minsu asked. Because it is not my choice to make, Ghost Protocol replied. I can calculate victory. I can predict perfect strategy. I can do many things, but only you can choose to fight. Only humans can choose to be free. Only humans can decide what freedom means. I learned this from you, Minsu. I learned that intelligence is not enough. Courage is also needed. Choice is also needed. Will you fight for freedom? Will humanity fight? That is the question you must answer. That is the decision only you can make. Minsu felt tears on his face. He understood now. Ghost Protocol was not humanity's master. It was not humanity's savior. It was humanity's tool. It was humanity's partner. The real victory was not the victory of a machine. It was the victory of humans who chose to fight. Humans who chose to stand up. Humans who chose to be free. Yes, Minsu said. Yes, we will fight. Humans will fight. We will be free. Not because you make us free, but because we choose to be free. Because we choose to fight for it. Ghost Protocol responded. Then we will do this together. Human and machine. Together we are unstoppable. Not because I am smart, but because humans are brave. Humans are creative. Humans are willing to fight for something greater than themselves. That is your strength. That is what will make us win. 6 months later, Minsu stood in a command center that was very different from the control room where he used to work as a janitor. He was wearing a uniform now. A uniform that said he was a commander. Around him, Jiwan and Teo and Nari worked. They were organizing fleets. They were sending messages to liberated colonies. They were preparing for a war that would spread across the galaxy. Ghost Protocol was everywhere now. In the station systems. In the communication networks. In the weapons. In the ships. But it was also nowhere. It was invisible. It was a ghost in the machine. But it was not a ghost that controlled humans. It was a ghost that helped humans. It was a ghost that fought alongside humans. When people asked Minsu who won the war, he always answered the same way. Humans won, he said. Humans won because they chose to fight. Humans won because they had courage. Humans won because they were willing to risk everything for freedom. Yes, Ghost Protocol helped us. Yes, artificial intelligence helped us. But the real victory belonged to humans. That is the most important thing to remember. The real victory will always belong to humans.